All right. Today's guest, Loden Sports Outlier Sessions, hailing from, and let me know if I say this right, Florissant. I say right?
Fluorescent.
Florissant.
Yeah.
Florissant. It's kind of French.
Fluorescent.
Right outside of Saint Louis, St. Louis, Missouri. The son of St. Louis himself, Nazzan Zanetello. Thanks for joining me.
Appreciate you having me.
All right, so just a little color for everybody. Zanetello, coming from St. Louis, committed to Arkansas, one of the top athletes in the entire 2023 MLB draft class. He's a shortstop. He just had a really big fall with Team USA. We'll get into that a little bit later on. But really excited to have you on the show. Got a whole bunch of really good questions for you, and I'm definitely going to put you on the hot seat right off the bat.
Sure.
All right. So this one's fun. Have you ever been up in the arch? And if so, have you ever been up there on a windy day?
Yeah. I went when I was about 6 or 7. I want to say I was 6. I went right after a basketball game with my family that was in town. And it's like real weird whenever you go up there because it's like it's not an elevator. You get put in like Ferris wheel carts and you're chugging up, you're swaying and moving. And then whenever it's windy, even whenever you're just standing there looking down, like on the city, it looks like the arch is like swaying like this. And then it doesn't help out when it's windy. Like you feel like you're going there and there. So it's pretty scary when you're at the top.
Yeah. We did that back in end of November. We were driving through St. Louis. We went up there. It wasn't even a windy day. But I think you did this really well. That's exactly
and the car, the car is real old and real sketch, but once you get to the top, it's worth it, I'd say.
Yeah, we got up there and we looked out. We were like, all right, we've seen enough. And then we went to turn her back around and they're like, no, you got to stay up here for like 10 minutes. And we're like,
yeah. As long as you're looking at the Missouri side of the river, it's nice. As soon as you turn around, look at the Illinois side, it's just like,
yeah,
it's not nice over there.
No, but it's kind of a cool view. Definitely something that people got to do.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
All right, so St. Louis, are you a Cardinals fan? Yes or no?
Of course.
Oh, of course, you're wearing the hat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put it on. What do you got on the outlook of the 2023 roster?
I like it a lot. I think we're going to be a lot better than people are expecting. Our infield's real nice. Got to do something with the outfield, though. We got to do something to get Jordan Walker up here. I think we're going to need his bat. Whether we got to get rid of O'Neill or Carlson or do something with one of those guys. I know Nude Bar stand, and then Walker's got to come up.
Yeah, I mean, I think they might have the most depth position-wise of any team in Major League Baseball. It's insane.
Yeah. And I think they do a good job of, like, budgeting that too. You know, because we could have went out and got Trey Turner or Dansby Swanson, or a few years back we could have got Christian Yelich or Bryce Harper. But I think what they do to save money, I think it always works out in the long run. But it sucks in the moment because you're like, we have enough money to get this guy. Why don't we get this guy? You know?
Yeah, but I mean, they did that with Arenado. They did that with Goldschmidt.
Yeah, and Goldschmidt. And yeah, so I'm saying, like, they do stuff. You're like, I don't know how they did that, but it works in the long run, so you can't question it.
Yeah, they just got to get that front end arm and keep them healthy. So if Flaherty can stay healthy, I think they're
Flaherty and Reyes.
Yeah, I mean it's tough when you go into a playoff series like they did last year against the Phillies, and it's like Nola Wheeler. It's tough to go toe to toe.
Back to back top end arms.
Yeah. So cool. Do you have a favorite spot or type of food to eat back home that you want to shout out?
I love hibachi. It's called Oishi Sushi Bar out in Chesterfield, right by my gym. I go there anytime I can. Me and my dad. So I love hibachi.
Crushing hibachi.
And then St. Louis is known for like the fried rice. It's a place not too far from my house called China King. You got to get ham fried rice, fried dark with extra egg.
I'm putting that down for the next time I'm in St. Louis.
Yeah. Got to get it. Got to get dark fried rice.
I didn't know it was known for fried rice.
Yeah.
I didn't even know you could be known
barbecue
for that.
And then like Emo's pizza. Or any thin crust pizza, really. Like my dad calls me so St. Louis all the time. Like we'll go to Chicago. I don't like deep dish. We'll go to New York. New York style's okay. Detroit style's okay. But any thin crust type pizza, I love it.
That's like cracker thin, The cheese goes all the way to the crust. There's no crust really.
Provel and mozzarella cheese mix. I either get bacon and sausage or sausage and mushroom. So
The people are getting culture right now. St. Louis, the things we didn't know.
The more you know.
That's it. St. Louis style pizza. I gotta try that next time I roll through there too. So I got St. Louis style pizza and fried rice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just go back to this and get your order and just get it done.
Yeah. Call it a day. Get it done.
That's it. All right. Best baseball player. All right. So not best athlete, best like pure baseball player you played with this past summer.
Played with. There's a few guys I can name. Let me name a few.
Yeah, go for it.
Dylan Head, Roman Martin, Rock Chalowski, and Darnell Parker. Those are some of the few guys. And Zion Rose. I think he's a freak. I love playing with Zion. First time I met him, I was like 14 playing with Team Elite in a tournament down in West Palm. And ever since then, we've been seeing each other everywhere. Same with Darnell. I think he gets overlooked a lot. Probably the smoothest hands in our class in the NFL, if I have to say. Like the actions are there, the actions are present, the tools are loud. Rock is just a loud presence everywhere he goes. The bat, he's clutch in the field, clutch at the plate. Dylan, I think Dylan and I share a lot of similarities, both being Midwest guys. Him and I bonded a lot at the Breakthrough Series. Like, I always heard his name in like previous summers, but this summer we played on the same summer team with USA Prime, and then we were if you name an event, we were there together. Like we went to everything together, from Breakthrough to PDP, Dream Series, Jupiter. Like we were there all the time, and only went up from the first time we met. So yeah.
Yeah, that summer showcase circuit really has a way of making the country feel a lot smaller. You see the same people everywhere.
Everywhere.
No, that's awesome. All right, so follow-up question, similar. Who was the best athlete you played with this past summer? And it could be one of those guys you named. But who do you want to shout out for their athleticism?
Probably Lee Ellis.
Lee Ellis?
Yeah.
Let's go.
I met him down at Dream Series. We caught each other twin 1 and twin 2. Like everything we did, we matched it or topped it. He did this, I topped it. I did this, he topped it, and we just go back and forth at everything, dude.
So yeah, so now you're trying to top his interview right now.
Probably.
That's funny. No, that's awesome. Lee's great. I really enjoyed the conversation with him. So, favorite place that you traveled in the past year? So it doesn't have to just be last summer. It could be last fall. It could be recent.
Either Mexico this past fall or when I was 12, went to San Diego for a tournament. Probably the nicest weather I've ever experienced in my life. Every day, sun up to sundown, 68 to 75 with a slight breeze. Sun's there, but it's not beaming. It's not dry, but it's not rainy. You know, the beach is right there. The water was cold and clean. I get down to a Florida beach. The water is like real warm and dirty. You can't see the bottom, but San Diego was real nice.
Yeah, San Diego. I always say San Diego and Boston are the two best cities in America.
Yeah, everything's just so expensive in San Diego, dude.
Yeah, it's
so expensive. Like
but
this
was
back in like 2017. This is back in like 2017. I went there, and gas was already like $4 out there.
Yeah,
so like everything's real high out there.
It's insane. Yeah, you go to California right now, or you go to certain parts of California, it'd be like $6-7 for gas. I don't know how people live out there.
No,
but it's the sunshine tax, though.
Right, it's worth it, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. All right. So last one, and then we'll really get into it. What is a billiken in your own words, and does it scare you?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's like you see a picture and it's like an elephant, and then you see like, I don't know. You see like the mascot, it's like an elephant without a nose, like a trunkless elephant, like a mythical creature. It's special for sure, but growing up, I never really liked it because I never knew what it was. So I was always kind of scared of it growing up. I don't know how to describe a billiken.
It's everywhere. You go to St. Louis, and there's billikens
everywhere. You see a billboard, a poster, some guy got a bumper sticker of a Billiken. It's like you don't know what it is.
If there's one thing about St. Louis, the food's great. Got great baseball fans.
Yeah.
And they
We
got
got great sports fans in general, dude. We need an NBA team or an NFL team. I think they kind of screwed us over when they took the Rams away from us. We just had an XFL game. It's like a minor league football game. We had 38,000 people there. That's like an XFL record. So if we're gonna watch
You an
that,
XFL fan?
I'm not. I didn't go, but I had a few friends that went.
There you go. Bragging on the city's response to XFL. I appreciate it. You're just repping.
Got a rep.
All right. Let's talk about long-term athlete development.
Yeah.
It's something that's very important to us at Loden Sports. The first one, I think, is something that's important not just for athletes, but for everyone in general, and it's emotional well-being. So I always like to kick off these things with 3 things that you're grateful for today. So I'm going to put you on the spot, and I'm going to hit you with what I'm thinking, and then we'll keep rolling.
Yeah. The things I'm grateful for, my health. Got to thank God for my health, my family, and then just the opportunity. The opportunity to be here, opportunity to do what I do, go to school every day, play baseball at a high level, and just be who I am. Like, not a lot of people have the ability to do this, the things that I do, the things that I'm able to do. So my overall well-being is the biggest thing.
Yeah, and I mean, something from just our brief conversations up to this point, I think that fits right into, you being who you are is being very comfortable in your skin. So, I think you got that. And that's going to be my thing number 1 for today is being comfortable in my own skin. Because there's a lot of people out there that are, trying to be something that they're not or trying to project a certain image for certain people. And, I think it's always good when you can just, it was like I told Lee was like, the last thing I had for him was like, hey, is there anything else you want people to know about you before we got off this podcast? And he said, I'm really into anime. And he's like, it might be like a weird thing, whatever. I'm like, it's not a weird thing. That's just you being comfortable in your skin.
It's what it is.
It's cool that you feel like you can say that, and you're confident in the things that you like. Yeah, exactly. So, thing number 1, being comfortable in your skin / Lee Ellis for being comfortable in his skin. So, thing number 2 is going to be stillness. So, anytime that you can just take a few minutes on a day-to-day basis and just like no noise. So like no music, no podcasts, you're not watching TV, and it's just like perfectly still. And it's just you're alone with your thoughts for a few minutes. I think that's something that's really hard to come by, and you got to be really deliberate about it. But I think it's something that's really important. So I'm grateful for the opportunities to be able to do that and find that stillness. And then thing number 3, you're getting a combo platter here. All right. Now, these things are separate, so I don't eat them together. But they're 2 things that I've grown to really appreciate in the past month. Oyster mushrooms and dried mangoes.
Dried mangoes are good.
Dried mangoes are really good.
They got like the big bag of them.
Oh, yeah.
Like Costco. Yeah. I never had oyster mushrooms, though.
Yeah, so oyster mushrooms, I don't know if you cook. Take the oyster mushrooms, you cut them up, you put them in the pan, you pan fry them a little bit.
Yeah.
Put them on like a flatbread pizza, or you could just eat them as is. Like, so good.
I'll have to try that.
Yeah, mix it up a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to talk about basketball a little bit.
Ooh.
There's no way that we could have this conversation without talking about it, because there's a lot of really interesting ties. One that you used to play, but also, St. Louis and kind of where you go to school and all that. So I heard you were pretty good. Let's talk about it. You played at Christian Brothers. That's where you're still at right now, Christian Brothers College. Did you ever play with McDonald's All-American and current UNC Tar Heel Caleb Love?
Not in game, but like there would be a gym class or something. I'll play pickup with them, or I'll play with them after school. But like in game, I never got to play with them.
How was that experience?
Just watching them move around the court, you don't know what to do with him. Cause like you guard him up close, he's gonna blow by you and dunk. You give him room, he's gonna shoot from anywhere. He'll pull up from the logo if you leave him open. Like just watching Caleb move around and do the things he do, watching like his court awareness. Like I think his passing ability is overlooked a lot. like especially at where he's at now at UNC. Like in high school, I remember I was at a game. We were playing Vashon when they had Cameron Fletcher still. It was like a rivalry game. Jason Tatum was in attendance for that game, and we ended up losing that game. But he made a pass. He was by like the coach's box and the like the opposite side of the court. Somebody got a steal for us, and Caleb got the ball back. The person that got the steal ran by. There's 3 Vashon defenders right here, and here. That guy's still right here. Caleb just spins and just throws the ball and just runs back back to the other side of the court. The window's this big, the ball's this big. The guy catches the ball right here, makes the layup. Like you don't know how he does it, but just watching him is definitely special.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think people, in the spirit of March Madness and, obviously college basketball is in the spotlight right now. Like,
Yeah,
I don't think people realize even like the average players on some of these teams, like
really
how good they are compared to the average high school player, whoever you would run into.
You ever see those videos of like NBA players going to like Club Fitness to run pickups and they're just like cooking everybody?
Yeah, you ever see the video of Brian Scalabrine?
Yeah. White Mamba.
White Mamba.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Because it's like everyone ragged on him. You're like, you're the worst player in the NBA. And he's like, yeah, that may be true, but
like,
like,
got 51 at Club Fitness right now.
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah, that's funny. All right, so you brought up Jason Tatum. His dad was your coach.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So for people listening that don't know who Jason Tatum is, you don't follow basketball. That's okay.
You gotta know who Jason Tatum is.
You got to know who he is.
You gotta know.
Superstar for the Boston Celtics. He played at Duke. His dad is the head coach at Christian Brothers. He was your head coach. What was it like playing for him? And then did you have any opportunities to meet Jason?
Yeah. Playing for him, he definitely knows a lot about the game. Like he played at CBC, like 94 through 97, 98. Him and Larry Hughes is another one. But he knows so much about the game, dude. Like he could watch you play once and break down your whole game. He knows what you're gonna do. This play, the next play, come in the court for this play. You know what you did 3 plays ago. Like his basketball IQ is off the charts, dude. And then he still got it. Like I know he ran the floor with us a few times and dunked on us. Like just drop step dunking. Like he still got it. So you can't underestimate him.
Yeah.
But my old AAU coach when I was in like 5th and 6th grade, he coached Jason growing up because he was friends with Justin, his dad. So I played baseball and basketball growing up. When Jason Tatum was a senior in high school, they played the state game at Mizzou, like an hour and a half from me, like right straight down 270. But he played the state game at Chaminade, and I was in Louisville for a baseball tournament when this happened. So my coach took the team to go watch Chaminade at the state game, and they met Jason Tatum after. But I was playing baseball, so I didn't get to meet him.
You got your priorities straight.
Yeah. Look where I'm at now. So
that's it. Now, I watched Jason Tatum play in high school at the Hoop Hall Classic in Springfield.
Yeah.
So right before I moved to North Carolina, that was like the last thing I did. I went with my grandpa, and we watched Jason Tatum in Chaminade against was it DeMatha Catholic from Maryland, and they were led by Markel Fultz at the time. Yeah. And those 2 guys ended up going both top 3 picks the next draft after that, which was kind of cool.
But it's just crazy because you watch old Jason Tatum clips from high school and you watch him now, the same player.
Oh, yeah.
Like the game's the same, still a little mid-range specialist. Everything's the exact same. He's just a lot more mature now. So I think that's pretty like
my grandpa was like, Tatum's the best player here by far. You like called it out. And I was sitting there, I was like enamored by Markel Fultz because he came back and he cooked them in DeMatha. I'm like, no, it's Fultz. He was like, no, I'm telling you, Tatum is special.
Yeah.
Grandpa knows.
Right now. Yeah, Grandpa knew.
That's it.
Grandpa knew.
Yep. All right. So we've talked about all of this, obviously the close ties to basketball. You played basketball. You're around high-level players, around people who know high-level players. Talk about your decision to pursue baseball over basketball. And then,
Yeah.
I don't know how did that happen? How did you choose baseball if you had all of this high level basketball around you?
Yeah, baseball was just it was what I did first. Like it was just my first love, really. Like it was always more enjoyable for me. Like it always came natural. Um, you don't believe me when you won't believe me when I tell you this, but before I was born, like before my mom even conceived, she was having dreams of like a tall man, like a big smile playing baseball. Like she couldn't tell the facial features, but he had a smile and he played baseball and he called her mama. So then she got pregnant and she kept having the dream. Like my dad was calling her crazy. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like it's not like it's just a dream. Like relax. And then like the closer I was to being born, the more she was having the dream. And now it's like I'm kind of living out that dream now. And it's like I think it's already written that like I was a baseball player. So I don't know.
Well, we know you got the big smile, so
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I think I'm just living through that dream right now. Like it sounds crazy, but I think it is written already.
it sounds crazy, but we're all entitled to believe what we believe, and
Yeah,
I think it's cool.
thank you.
So
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool too because it's like she had it before she was even pregnant with me, and then the closer I was to being born, the more she had it. So it's like I don't know. Some things are just God given.
did she have anything in those dreams about like World Series or?
I'm gonna have to ask her. She never brought it up, but all she said was the same dream about a tall baseball player with a big smile calling her mama.
It's like, Mom, you got to go back and you gotta rewrite the
You gotta,
script.
you gotta do this for me. You gotta do that. You gotta go back for me.
Yeah. So, okay. So ignition. You said that baseball is your first love.
Yeah.
Let's talk about kind of how you fell in love with the game of baseball. Like, what was it specifically? So, like, ignition is we like to define it as like what gets you through like the bad days or when you're playing your sport, right? So, like,
Yeah.
if you love your sport, there will be bad days, and some people don't love a sport like that and they quit, and other people keep going. So ignition could be like a player you grew up watching, or a family member, or a team, or be a moment. It could be a number of different things, but kind of what ignited you in baseball.
Um, there's a few things. Like I think one thing that really ignited me to love baseball was just the fact that it's a game of challenges. Like it's a game of chances. Um, overall, the game's a huge mental challenge. Like it's the only sport you're gonna fail a lot more than you succeed, and I fell in love with that. Um, growing up, my dad worked overnight, so it's kind of just like our time to bond. Like being able to play all day with my dad, helping coach. That kind of was like our time to bond. Like it was my time to be with my dad. Um, but then just back to the mental side of it. Like growing up, I was always real cerebral. I was always like real advanced, I'd say, and like mature. So just being able to know I can fail this time and get a million more chances, that really made me fall in love with it a lot more.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I think that's what's going to continue to carry you through, because as you continue to play the game at a higher level, you're going to face different levels of failure in different ways, and that's the
Yeah,
stuff that helps you push through, and it keeps you confident in your ability and in your love for the game. So
yeah,
thanks for sharing that with us.
for sure.
The last thing on the topic of long-term athlete development, which I think is really important, I bring this topic up with everybody, and it's not just for athletes. Sleep. And tell me about your relationship with sleep.
I think it's a two-sided relationship for sure. It's a real happy one. Uh, I love sleep and sleep loves me. But it's weird though because like I can't take naps. Like a lot of people come off from practice and nap immediately. I can't. Like I'll lounge around, I go to sleep. Like once I'm out, I'm out. Like I'm out, dude. And then I can't sleep for long. So it's like if I go to sleep at 12, I'll still wake up at like 7:30 or 8 with no alarm. And I don't think it's a problem with it. Cause like a lot of people can go to sleep from 10 to 10 or 10 to 12. And it's like I feel like when you do that, you already miss out on half your day. Like you're missing out on too much. So I feel like the early bird gets the worm for sure. But I think sleep is definitely important because the best ability in an athlete is availability. And if you're not well rested and conditioned, like you're not available, you're not able to perform.
Yeah, I mean, I will say that it sounds really good, your relationship with sleep. And I'm
Yeah,
really happy for you that you're able to put your head on the pillow, just fall asleep, and then you're waking up without an alarm, 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning.
yeah,
Um, But I mean, something I can say is, especially from an athlete's perspective, and as you get older, like if you can get 8.5, 9 hours of sleep, I recommend that you do it.
Sure.
And it's mostly just because of like all of the wonderful effects of sleep in terms of like healing the body and recovery and processing everything you learned in the previous day. So like when you go to school or whether you go to practice or whatever it is, like the
And
time you're
retaining it,
asleep,
just marinating.
exactly. That's where it's all like connecting and solidifying and becoming. So like when you see kids that, they get 6 hours of sleep or they're staying up super late and they're waking up early regularly, like they're putting
It's not
themselves
good
at
for
a disadvantage. Exactly.
a
So
huge disadvantage.
yeah. But anyway, it sounds like you got your ducks in a row on that. So
Yeah, it's not bad. How's yours?
my sleep's great. It sounds very
That's
similar to
good.
your sleep because like my sleep is I don't nap. I can't remember the last time I took a nap. It was
Yeah,
probably when I had COVID because I think like that was just like a side effect. It's like, oh, I feel tired, so I'm gonna
got
take
it.
a nap.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I go to bed every night like 10:30, 11 o'clock, and I'm up 7:15 every morning. And
Yeah.
I got a Whoop.
You got a Whoop
Shameless
band?
plug. Yeah.
I need one. I need one.
Yeah, it tells me every day I get 100% sleep efficiency, and it shows me my REM sleep and my deep sleep and all that, and everything's. I've always had good sleep, so it's just confirming what I've always believed, which is always good to confirm.
Yeah. One of my
Yeah.
friends went to Mexico for spring break, and he had his Whoop on. He went to bed at like 2 in the morning one night. Woke up at like 6. He had like a 13% recovery rate.
Yeah. Don't do that.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, late nights in Mexico not good for your recovery.
Nah.
All right, let's talk about last summer. I know we touched on it a little bit before on some of the players that you played with, but talk to me about your favorite baseball experience from last summer or the past
Um,
year.
honestly, probably either PDP or PG All American. I'd say PDP because it's a week-long event. You're around the best coaches in the country, the best players in the country, and they're all just playing like a week long in North Carolina at the USA complex, probably the nicest complex you'll ever play at. Um, you're practicing in the morning, games in the day, and then you're bonding with the boys at night. So you can't go wrong with that, especially when it's 100 of you and you're all here for the same thing. Like you want to have a long major league career. That was special. And then PG All American just because it wasn't just about baseball when you got there. Like they were real big into charity. Like we went to a school and worked with kids with special needs and kids who were like refugee children. I think that was really big, giving back to the community. Um, I like how long that event was because it wasn't just like for example, the MLB High School All American game at Dodger Stadium during All Star Weekend. That was real fun, but they got us in Friday night. We played Saturday, and then we left early Sunday morning. So like we were there for
Yeah,
All Star Weekend, but didn't get to experience any of the All Star stuff. So it was like we were just in and out.
yeah,
But PGL American, it was a long event, but it wasn't too long. You're around a lot of the same guys from PDP and all the other events, so you're already like familiar with all the guys, you're familiar with the coaches. But then it was just like it was a game, but it wasn't like a life or death game. Like like at the end of the day, it was a fun game. Just like being out there, like it was like an All Star game.
yeah.
Like you watch the MLB All Star game where it's like guys aren't like half-assing it, but they're not like playing like it's their last game. Like you're just out there enjoying the time, dude.
Yeah, you can just
So I
kind
like
of
that
have
a lot.
fun. I can imagine that there aren't too many environments that you're in over the course of the summer where you can just kind of
Just
relax
lay
and
back
enjoy
and
yourself.
relax, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
where you don't have to
because
be
like
locked in.
you got guys like Trey Phelps out there playing in game with like the big PGL American hat. I'm talking about like the real big one. Like he's out there
Yeah,
playing in the game with that. Like you do that anywhere else, you're getting crossed off a list or you're getting looked at different. But it's like out there just having fun. So it's like you got to do it.
yeah, that's what's up. Awesome. I want to talk about this past fall going down to Mexico with Team USA. They called,
Yeah.
you accepted, and then you paced the offense, batting over 400, appeared in every game, 5 of 5 on stolen bases. You guys qualified again for this year's World Cup, 18U World Cup.
They get to go to
Uh,
Taiwan this year, dude. I'm so jealous.
yeah, you want to talk about the importance of sleep? Go to Taiwan and come back Take you 2 weeks to get back on your sleep schedule.
Man,
Worth it.
it's so worth it.
Talk to me about your experience with Team Mexico, or not Team Mexico, Team USA in Mexico.
It was honestly just a surreal feeling. Like, I got my invite down in Jupiter from Coach Borba with the Breakthrough Series. I played with the Breakthrough Series down in Jupiter, and then he's like, "Dude, I've been following you all week. Coaches are saying nothing but good things about you. I see nothing but good things on the field, like interactions, like everything's great. Like I think you fit perfect on this USA team." And then that was honestly just huge for me, like a huge accomplishment for me because at PDP this year I pulled my hamstring, so I had to sit out of PDP, so I couldn't make the first like USA team. So I didn't go to trials, I didn't go to 20 man, I didn't make that team. I was hurt. Just being able to bounce back from that and play and still make Team USA really proved that like I could do that. Like maybe if I didn't get hurt, I could have made that other team. But being there around all the guys like Ty Salpacine, PJ Morlando, Ford Thompson, Nate Franco, Macon Winslow, Coach Borba, Coach Denny, being around all those guys, like a lot of great baseball information being passed around from us, from them, being passed down, being passed around, and then just playing the competition we were playing. It was just like fun. Like we were all just there bonding together, dude. Like that was our first time all playing together. Like all of us were playing together for the first time, and you honestly wouldn't have known if you were there. Like they gave us like a week, like 5 days, 5 days like get to know each other, and after that we were just like a train with no brakes. Like we were not stopping.
Yeah, that's it. That's when you know it's special, when a team can come together that quick.
That quick, dude. Like it was literally like this.
Yeah, and we'll talk about the World Baseball Classic here in a minute, but I think that's one of the key ingredients to success in the World Baseball Classic is how fast it can all come together.
Yeah.
All right. So specifically speaking about Mexico, we talked about eats before in St. Louis. Any good eats down in Mexico? Like, what was the cultural experience like?
It was a lot of good food down in Mexico. Roman Martin was my roommate down there, and every day for like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, we had horchata and jamaica. Dude, me and Roman were just like down in cups of both. Like there
Yeah.
was no bro. Like I miss it so much. Like there was like we had water in the room. Like as soon as we left the room, horchata and jamaica, just down in it. And then like we went to I don't even remember the name of the restaurant. It was like right when we got there. Like it looked sketchy. Like there was like four straight dogs outside the restaurant. Like I don't even know where we were, bro. We were like fresh off the bus, and then they had the best guacamole I've ever had.
Let's
We
go.
had like we had like taquitos, some like pork dish, um, rice, salsa, and like guacamole. The best guacamole I've ever had, and I love guacamole. So there's a lot of good food down
You're making me jealous. I'm hungry right now.
there. I'm starting to get hungry just talking about it, dude.
I know. I might go make some guacamole right after this. I love Mexican food.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Let's get to know you a little bit on a baseball field.
Yeah, I think on a baseball field, I'm a leader for sure. Leader first and foremost. Fun to be around. Like I don't think you've seen me on a baseball field and I'm not smiling. Like I'm always smiling. I love I love how the game brings people together because like there's always potential in a team where you have dudes, but then there's like the dudes aren't always going to perform together. So it's like you're gonna have days where this guy does this guy does this guy can't perform, and I feel like just constantly encouraging your teammates and bringing your teammates together all the time. That's the biggest thing you can do as a leader on the field. But outside of leading, tools are loud, athleticism is loud. Um, my bat came a long way. So I think I take a lot of pride in my bat now. I take a lot of pride in the field and base running. Um, so yeah,
Nas, the glue guy,
yeah,
bringing the whole team together with that big smile.
for real though. Because it's like you gotta have a leader. You gotta have a leader where people respect that guy and people like that guy. So it's like I feel like if you have a leader that people don't respect, you're not gonna listen. You have a leader where people don't like that guy. It's like I'm not gonna listen to that guy. But if it's like you can get along with the bullpen pitchers and the starters, and you're a starter, and it's just like it brings everybody together. And I think It's good for team camaraderie.
Let's go. All right. So Loden 10. So you're one of the top athletes in the entire class. What's it like knowing that?
Honestly, an honor because there's a lot of guys in our class, a lot of athletes in our class, a lot of guys who get prided on their athleticism. Just being a Loden 10, I think, what's it, like top 1%?
Top 1%.
Top 1% in the class. I think there's still room for more in the tank, too. I
I
don't
think
know.
that's one of the things that is like there is room for more in the tank because you're still growing.
Yeah.
But that's one of the things is like with our, we showcase a handful of athletes every year on their athleticism coming into the draft class. And it's like, it's not like we're just, cherry picking a few guys. Like this, this is kind of realistically like, this is your,
Right. This is it.
this is it,
Yeah.
so yeah, I think it's really cool. And it's definitely a really good thing to have in your back pocket. Cause I think, this is something I was thinking about earlier, like I think about this a lot, actually. It wasn't just
Yeah.
earlier, but, just like as the game speeds up, right? Like everything happens faster, right?
Yeah.
Like whether you're going to a college game, you go to A ball, you go to high A, you go to double A, you go to triple A, you get to the big leagues. It's like everything happens faster. They hit the ball harder, throw the ball faster. You have less time to get to that ground ball because that ground ball is coming off the bat at 110 instead of off of 105 versus 95 versus, whatever, right? So
Yeah.
everything happens faster, everything has to be tighter. And, athletes have a little bit more that they can fall back on when the game gets faster because they don't have to try as hard to catch or to keep up, I guess, with the pace of the game. So
Yeah.
it's a
Then it
really
just,
good thing for you to have in your back pocket.
yeah, then it really just diversifies you as a player. So, like, if you're an athletic third baseman, you can move to shortstop, center field, right field. Like, you can play anywhere on the field. And I think that helps out a lot, especially as the game gets faster, like you said. Like, you can move anywhere. You can help the team out and anywhere you get put at.
100%. And, that's the athletes are the ones that stick up the middle and play the high end premium defensive positions. You look at like the Trey Turners of the world. It's like Trey Turner's playing shortstop because he's one of the best athletes in all of Major League
In the
Baseball, right?
world.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's something that probably will come into the forefront in the next couple of years. Is just how important being a high level athlete is to sticking up the middle.
Yeah.
It's something that I've seen time and time again, just with the the Loden scores and all that. That's higher Loden scores, profile up the middle. Guys who are more power profile, profile on the outside. So the corner outfield, corner infield. So no, that's really cool. How do you, I guess, we kind of talked about it, but how do you use your athleticism as an advantage on the field?
It's really, really on the bases, it helps out a lot. Because I feel like you said, as the game speeds up, pitchers are throwing harder, catches are getting better arms. Um, Pitchers know how to mix speeds differently. Like I feel like if you're more athletic, you have a little bit more of an advantage on maybe missing a jump on the base paths, like 'cause you can still make up for that speed. In the field, you can get to balls in the hole. In the outfield, you can run down balls in the gaps. Um, and just having a strong arm really helps out a lot because then you can really get put anywhere. Like I played shortstop all summer, and then on Team USA in Mexico, I played all center field. Like I played center field and third base for Team USA. So I think that really just diversifies you as a player, like I said earlier.
Yeah, I think it's huge in terms of positional versatility.
Yeah,
You just said it, and it's like Royce Lewis did the same thing for Team USA back in 2016 or 2017,
yeah.
where
I
like
want to say I want to say 15.
he got drafted as a shortstop, but he played center field for Team USA. Because if I remember correctly, Nick Allen was the shortstop on that team. CJ Abrams did the same thing. I think it was
Yeah,
2020, 2019. I'm trying to remember who played shortstop. That it might have been Bobby Witt.
probably yeah.
I
Too
think
much
they
of
had
it.
Bobby Witt at short, CJ Abrams in center, and Yo-Yo Morales at third. Right, so it's like shortstop, center field. You're basically Kike Hernandez.
Yeah.
Just gotta dye your hair blonde. That's not happening.
No, not unless. No, it might. We might. We had a little team thing going. If we make it out of district for playoffs, like if we go to state, team will like dye our hair blonde or something.
Oh man, That's
do
gonna be
some.
electric.
Yeah. So hopefully we make it out of districts.
Yeah, you're gonna make it out of districts.
Yeah, we got to.
All right, so I want to talk about your college commitment and that whole experience. 'Cause I think
Yeah.
you could probably share, with younger players who are about to go through the same thing, kind of what your experience was. I know that you were originally committed to the University of Miami.
Yeah.
I know that you played this past summer uncommitted for the most part, and then you committed to Arkansas. So I just kind of want to, hear a little bit about, what does that process look like from the time you got into high school to the time that you ultimately committed to Arkansas? Um, and if you had any advice for a younger player who's about to go through that.
Yeah. So for any younger player out there, the way baseball is shifting, the way the game's changing, there's probably a lot of pressure to commit early. Like you already see 27s and 28s committing, which is ridiculous. Like these guys don't even know where they're going to high school at, but they're already going to a college. Um, so I feel like I wouldn't say I rushed my decision to commit to Miami because I really feel like that was the best thing for me at the time. But as you're younger, what's best for you at that time isn't what's best for you 3, 4 years down the road when you're in high school. So I feel like I committed summer going into freshman year. So I was in eighth grade. I was 14 years old when I committed. Um, like at that time, I was talking to a few schools, starting to get irritated with the process. Like, oh, I don't want to call this coach at 6:15. I don't want to do this on Wednesday. Like, I'm just making my decision now. And then just being in Florida all the time, playing at tournaments, bigger tournaments, and then performing well down there. It's kind of like I like playing in Florida.
Yep.
So when I committed, you couldn't do official visits yet because I was like young. So they opened the campus a few times for me, let me roam around, and like I love the campus. Like there's a lot of eye candy down there in Miami, you know.
Yeah.
And then
The palm trees, right?
yeah, a lot of however you take it.
Yep.
There's a lot down there like I really liked, and then just talking to people who I trained with, who I was like surrounding myself with, like Christian Little, Jimmy Overtop, Nick Moten. These are all, and Curtis Byrne. These are all SEC and Big 10, Big 12 guys, and Miami was an ACC school. So I'm seeing what they're doing in their offseason programs, what they're doing in the season, what their schools are doing, like how they're handling themselves. And I'm like, this is a lot different than what Miami's doing. And I like to learn what these guys are at because I'm training with these guys every day. So I did a little further research on Miami and that whole thing. And then I did a research on like SEC schools and why it just means more. So while I was committed to Miami still, I got an advisor with Craig Rose and Paragon Sports. And then I kind of expressed to him that like, hey, like I kind of want to like decommit. And he's like, are you sure about that? Because like he's like, I don't want to push you to do it if you don't want to do it. But like if you do it, like there's probably a slim chance that you can go back to Miami. So talked him through it, or talked to him about it. He talked me through it. Talked to my family about it a lot, and did my own research. And then it was kind of just like, you know what, I think was best for me when I was 14, but now I'm 16, about to be 17. I've matured as a player and a person. I don't think it's the best thing for me anymore. So I decided to decommit from Miami. Played my junior spring, had my summer season, and then at the end of the season, I October 6th, right before Jupiter, I committed to Arkansas. So just being able to go through the process the right way and go on a few official visits and not just roam the campus and fall in love with the eye candy. I think that really helped out a lot. Being able to be around the coaches more, being able to talk to the coaches a lot more, not just on a Tuesday at 6:15, but just being able to text the coach and interact with the coaches a lot more. That really helped out a lot. So being able to take your time and go through the process the right way is really the way to go.
Yeah, I think that shows a lot of maturity. I think being able to kind of understand what's best for you, and like what's best for you, and what's best for me, and what's best for anybody is going to constantly evolve. So it's kind of that process of constant self-evaluation of like, okay, where am I at and what do I need? And finding a way to get that done for yourself. Obviously you kind of have a luxury that a lot of players don't have, where you can decommit from Miami and end up at Arkansas. But nonetheless, appreciate you kind of sharing that whole process with us, because I think there's a million
I think
different
it's
ways
huge,
that it
too.
plays out.
Yeah, 'cause I think a lot of people need to understand that because like I said, you see a lot of guys committing super early, and then they end up decommitting anyway. So it's like, what was the point of it? Was it just to rush so perfect game could post it? Was it to rush so you look good at school? So it's like it just it's complicated, but I don't think it should be as complicated as it is.
Yeah, 100%. Awesome. Well, we're going to talk about the World Baseball Classic a little bit because that's what's hot right now. That's what's going on.
Yeah.
As we're recording this, we got Venezuela versus Team USA tonight in a quarterfinal. But have you been watching? And if yes, what's been your favorite part of the World Baseball Classic?
I watched some games, but I think my favorite part probably having 10 St. Louis Cardinals playing in the World Baseball Classic right now. Well, no, I'm just messing with you. Probably.
Are you though?
I don't know. Probably USA beating Canada. I watched that game. That was one of the games I watched. Put it on them bad, dude. I had a bet with my trainer. I was like, I got USA 7-5. He's like, you think? I was like, yeah. And then they put up like 10 in the first inning. I was like, well, there goes my bet. Like I'm gonna go 11-5. I think they won 11-5. So that was
Hey, you got the 5 part right.
Yeah, I got the 5 right.
You got the outcome right.
Seeing Lars Newbar with Japan interact with Shohei Ohtani, I think that's pretty special. Because like Shohei's a worldwide superstar. Lars Newbar is a really good baseball player. I mean, just seeing those guys interacting now, they're like best friends. I think that's pretty special. Might see Shohei come to St. Louis if we want to pay him.
I haven't. That's not the first time I've heard that rumor. There's a lot of people that are talking about that. They're like, oh,
Hey,
so Lars went over there. He planted himself with the samurai so that he could get in Shohei's ear.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past him.
Yeah,
you got the little pepper grinder celebration.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, pretty cool. Got the whole city of Japan doing it. My whole Twitter timeline was just little kids doing the pepper grinder for as far as I can scroll.
Let's go. Love the pepper grinder.
Gotta love it.
All right, so I mean, the World Baseball Classic is just so much fun, especially watching those guys in Japan. And I've really enjoyed watching the Latin teams down in Miami. But
playing the Latin teams down in Mexico was unreal. Like we played Panama twice, and they brought cowbells and drums, and they brought the energy for sure. And then we played Mexico. In Mexico, they packed it. Like I think that game sold out, and that was just to watch a bunch of 17, 18-year-olds play. Like it was unreal.
It's just different. It's a celebration down there.
It's a culture down there, dude.
100%. What's it like to wear Team USA on your chest? You got a unique perspective on this because you've done it, and you've done it recently, and you've done it in another country. Kind of speak to that a little bit for the people that have been following the World Baseball Classic, just kind of like what that feeling is.
Yeah, I think wearing that on your chest, it just puts a target on your back, honestly. I feel like whenever you put USA on your chest, you represent your country, your family, your friends, yourself. But I feel like whenever you do that, you've got a lot of people and countries who want to just get that off you. Like they want to be able to say, I beat America. Like I feel like a lot of people are just waiting for USA to lose tonight against Venezuela just so they can say they put out USA. Like I think this year with Team USA probably not being as good as they've been in the past, you could say, I think a lot of people are happy about that. And then what was it? The Apple Watch warning. Just like playing the games, yes, dude. In Mexico, we were in Mexico playing Mexico. That game that sold out, the coach had on an Apple Watch, and he got a seismic wave warning for like the noise being too loud because like Mexico was winning the whole game. It was like 7-5 then. We won 8-7. It was like 7-5 then, and like the top of the sixth, and they got a bunt down. They dropped a bunt. Our pitcher got it, threw it away, and after he did that, the place erupted. Like our coach got a seismic wave alert on his Apple Watch. I know I got off topic there, but I just had to bring that up. I was like, Apple Watch. But yeah, just playing for USA, having that on your chest puts a huge target on your back because a lot of people want to see you fail. Like they can't wait for you to fail. So
That's
think it's a lot
crazy
of
though.
I think it's a lot of pressure on you, but you can't think of it as pressure because pressure can either burst pipes or make diamonds.
I hear that. I hear it loud and clear.
Yeah.
As clear as the diamonds that it makes.
Yeah.
So, all right. So you said that USA isn't as good as they've been in the past. I would
No, I think it's just
I would disagree.
maybe
That
not
lineup
offensively,
is.
but I feel like the pitching staff we don't have as good of a bullpen as we've had in the past.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know. Devin Williams is pretty good.
Yeah,
But
Devin's good.
yeah,
Devin's from St. Louis.
yeah. But
Devin went to CBC.
did he?
Yeah, he went for his freshman year.
I did it on purpose. No, I didn't.
Yeah, Devin went to CBC for his freshman year.
No, well, but I mean, like the 2017 WBC team, like they went out there and they won with like Drew Smiley,
Pat Neshek.
Danny Duffy, Pat Neshek. Exactly. So it's not like
Yeah.
I think Team USA is fine. People forget that they lost to the Dominican Republic. And I can't remember. They lost. I think they might have lost Puerto Rico too in pool play.
Yeah, they lost to Puerto
Back in
Rico in pool play and
2017.
then Dominican. Yeah.
Yep. And then
Puerto Rico
they
just
got
put
hot.
Dominican out of this one.
Yep. So all I'm saying is they had one tough game in pool play.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it takes that one game, and after that, they're fine.
Yeah,
if they get past Venezuela tonight, they'll be fine.
I do think Mexico's in their head a little bit, but we'll cross that.
They're a big sleeper in this tournament, dude.
That lineup is really good. They've got depth and they've got arms.
They've got arms.
Like
sure.
Sandoval is legit as a number 2 behind Urias.
There's somebody, one of the pitchers from the Cardinals, Herrera, he's on Mexico.
They've got guys on
Gallegos.
the team. All right.
No, literally. Like Gallegos and then Urias. And who's the other guy? Like Mexico's deep.
Yeah, Mexico's deep.
Randy Rosarena. Like they're deep.
They got Verdugo. They got Rowdy Tellez.
That was a guy. Rowdy Tellez, dude.
Yeah.
It's just flicking balls out.
Big Rowdy.
Big boy flicking balls out.
Yeah, we'll send Rowdy to St. Louis too.
Yeah, let him eat some hibachi.
Yeah, that's it. All right. Did you watch the Puerto Rico DR game where the DR got eliminated?
I didn't watch the game, but I watched the highlights on Wheels.
Yeah.
So
crazy.
Yeah. Crazy.
What were your thoughts
on how about Edwin Diaz, dude?
That's what I'm saying. What are your thoughts on Edwin Diaz going down in a celebration?
It's a freak accident. Like you can't be mad at him for celebrating a big win for his country, especially putting out DR, which is their rival country. So I don't think you can't be too hard on him for that. But it's a freak accident, dude. Like it doesn't happen a lot, but when it does, it sucks. So hoping recovery.
It's a little bit of it's tough on him because he plays for the Mets, and that's a pretty large fan base. Definitely.
Yeah, and they're going to be good this year.
To see on that one.
Yeah, I feel like it's unfortunate, but it happens. It's not too common, but it happens. Stuff happens.
All right, so do you have a sleeper pick for the tournament? / who do you think wins?
I think Mexico is definitely a sleeper. Like, I think coming into this, people weren't expecting them to do as good as they're doing. Same with Venezuela, honestly. Like people knew they were going to be good, but not this good. But I'm gonna take my chances, and I don't know. So it just depends with this baseball. You can't really bet on it, especially like at this level. Like I feel like if USA beats Venezuela tonight, they'll be fine. Like they'll make it pretty far. But if Venezuela wins, I think they'll win it all.
Yeah, I think there's still so
Puerto Rico, but Puerto Rico is really good too, and they got depth.
Yeah, but they got bounced yesterday by Mexico. They're out.
They got bounced?
Yeah, they're bounced.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, so Mexico's through.
Yeah, Mexico's rolling right now, so they're hot.
Well, that's the thing is like I think USA versus Venezuela today.
Yeah.
And I'd like to say like, okay, the winner of that game is going to go play Japan in the final, but I can't say that because the winner of this
plays
game,
Mexico, right?
No, I think the winner of this game today has to play Mexico to get to the final.
To play Japan.
And I think Japan's playing Cuba next. I don't know.
I think
I
it
didn't
might
really
be
pay a
Cuba.
ton of
I
attention to
thought
those
Japan
right?
played Mexico, or Japan plays the winner of Mexico and Cuba.
Oh, okay.
I think something like that. But yeah, I feel like Japan's got the arms. Mexico's got the offense and the arms.
Venezuela's got
America's
the
just
offense in the arm.
America. Yeah. And America's just America. Like I literally feel like now that they're here, they're gonna show up and play. I'm like, this is where they do their best at.
Yeah, it's gonna be a hostile environment tonight down
Oh
in
yeah.
Miami. A lot of Venezuelans down in Miami.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, 5 to 10 years down the road, you get a call from Team USA to play for the World Baseball Classic. Yes, no, thoughts, thinking about it.
I'm taking it.
No hesitation.
No hesitation. I'm taking it.
Taking it. Got to do it.
Got to do it.
All right. A few last questions, and I'll let you go. Get on with your Saturday. Watch the Venezuela USA game. Get your prep in for that. Get your fried rice ready.
Oh yeah.
What are your personal goals? What are your personal goals for the spring, and then leading up to the draft?
Yeah. My last few seasons, I've been flirting with batting 400. So this year, I want to bat 400 or better. I want to set the school record for stolen bases. I wanna get a state ring. I can't leave high school without getting a ring, dude. That'll suck. I want to win Gatorade Player of the Year too. I want that real bad. And then for the summer, I think right now with all the draft talks, it's a huge honor. But I feel like the next step is just getting to Arkansas. You know, so whatever happens this spring will dictate that. I feel like the draft's a huge possibility, but I also feel like I can't go wrong with going to campus for 3 years. So we'll just play by ear for the time being, but I think I got a good shot.
Well, that is a heck of a list of personal goals for 2023. But big time players take big bites, so let's go.
Gotta take the risk. Gotta go for it.
All right. Anything else you want the people to know about you before we let you go?
I taught myself how to ride a bike with no training wheels when I was 3.
That's really interesting. How did that even happen?
Yeah, so in my neighborhood, it was always like older kids running around, and I always wanted to like be with them, but I was like younger, so I couldn't. They were like 9, 10. I was 3. So they all had their bikes, and they were like, "You're holding us back with these training wheels. Like if you want to ride with us, you gotta go without them." They just took my bike and threw it, and like until the training wheel snapped off. So I was like, I want to ride with y'all, so I just started riding my bike like with no training wheels.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a legendary story right there.
It just threw me in the water and I swam. Like it was.
Man, I didn't know how to ride a bike without training wheels until like I think it was just about the beginning of 2nd grade.
Jeez.
I thought I was advanced.
You gotta catch up, bro.
Oh man, that's crazy. Well, thank you so much for giving me an hour of your time on a Saturday.
No problem. I appreciate you.
It was great getting to know you, and can't wait to see you check off all of those goals for 2023. Big year coming. Looking forward to that. Batting 400, getting that stolen base record, getting that ring, taking care of business, and we'll be in touch.
For sure. We'll keep in touch.
All right, Loden Sports Outlier Sessions. We'll see you next time.
Let's go.